In this video, we are going to cover how to draw the tube mount that you see here on the right-hand side. First thing that you want to do is start a new drawing, and it is an inch drawing or imperial or English drawing, depending on how you want to look at it. So if I go to new, you're going to see standard.ipt. That's what you want to start with. All right, so the first thing I'm going to look at is how I want to draw this. Slide that over just a little. And the majority of our component of our full part features is if I draw it from this right-hand side, this profile, and then extrude it the 3 inches, and then just add this curve, this arc portion, as well as the hole. So that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to start my 2D sketch, and we're going to start a front view drawing because this is the front of our part here, so on our XY plane. And here's where I have to decide where I want to start my drawing. So when I look at this part, there's a radius of this arc here that from the center point, I have two different dimensions, 3 different dimensions from our, if you count this third line here, from our horizontal line and our horizontal line. So from this center point of our circle down to this horizontal line is 1.25. The radius is 1.25. So you know that's correct there. So we're going to start with our circle, and I'm going to start in the origin. Type in my 2.5 because it's a radius given to us, and this is drawing in as a dimension, and we'll be trimming this excess away today. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and grab my line, and I'm going to do a combination of direct input or dynamic input, as well as sketching, which if I don't know the exact size, like for example, this angled line here. So from my bottom quadrant, I'm going to just drag my cursor over. Right here, it gives us the dimension of 0.75. So I'm going to type in 0.75. And then if I look here, I know the dimension from this horizontal line to this horizontal line. So since I don't know the exact dimension, I know I could do the subtraction, but I'm going to just do this sketch feature here. And then I'm going to head and drag my cursor over the 2.75, which will take us from this corner to this corner here. So drag my cursor out, type in my 2.75. And again, I don't quite know this angle, so I'm just going to go ahead and make a random angled size. My next dimension I know is a 1/2 inch. My next dimension over again, I could figure it out, but I'm just going to go ahead and draw my cursor out to the left here. And then I'm just going to go up in line with my origin here. Zoom in there. And then bring my cursor over, select that origin, and that's that horizontal line that I have there. And then I have a 3-inch long line here, so I'm going to use that as a direct input. And again, I just want to demonstrate different ways that you can put in your lines and your features. I know this line here is 0.25, so I could type it in. And I know this next line is going to touch on this circle somewhere, but I don't know exactly where it's going to be tangent. So I'm just going to kind of bring it out here. Now, one thing I'm going to take a look at is notice before I actually want to right click. Actually, let's just hit OK for now. I'm going to take these 2 lines here and notice we have this radius of 0.5 and it starts at the end of this 2.25 inch diameter. Now, if I came in and put in my fillet, let's put in our 0.50, zoom in here and selected these 2 lines. Oops, I'm out of the command. There we go. Notice here that it is pushed and did not hold that length of that line there, okay, because it's doing from this point here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit undo, and I'm actually going to take that dimension out for now and put it in here in a little bit, okay? And again, I can stretch this line out so that we can actually get that full 1/2 inch and then put my measurement in. So before I do that, I'm going to go ahead, actually we can do it now. So let's go ahead and put our fillet in, select my 2 lines here. Oops. And then I can hit escape, and then I can go ahead and put the dimension of this line here. So see how now it holds that length of that line, doesn't push it to the right or anything like that. And then I'm going to use this constraint feature for tangent. Then I'm going to select my circle and I want the line tangent to my circle. So see how it automatically selects that tangent point because I don't know where that exact line is. Before we do any trimming, I'm going to finish up my, excuse me, my dimensions. So my horizontal line here should be 2.00. My height here, I don't have that dimension in, should be 0.50. My overall height between this two parallel lines should be 1.25. And notice when we do that, we get this over constraint. And the reason that is because we already know it's 1.25 because we started on this quadrant and created a horizontal line. So that's all it could be. It's 1.25 from here to here. So you don't need that dimension. Go ahead and select these two planes, and then I might look at and say, "Whoop, that's actually not the plane I wanted. I want these two parallel lines here, and that measurement is 1.750. We're not quite done yet. We don't have that overall measurement. And if I look at this, it should be 4.5. And again, that looks to me like it's from this line to this vertical line. Let's type in our 4.50. At that point, we are fully constrained, but we do need to go in and trim off this excess line here. We don't need this part of our arc at all. And that looks to me like everything that we needed. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my sketch. So let me zoom out here. Do my extrusion. My width is 3 inches. I am going to do symmetric since we do have this hole, even though we're not going to use it. It's the same on one side as it is on the other. So it makes sense to extrude it symmetrically and then type in our 3 inches. And select OK. At this point, all we're missing is the hole in this arc feature. So we're going to go ahead and start a 2D sketch. I'm going to choose this top plane this time, again, because this feature is coming off of this front plane. I don't want to use this bottom plane, and you'll see why here. So I'm going to go ahead and select my circle, and all I'm going to do is find my midpoint. So see how it locks to that midpoint, stretch my cursor off till it locks to that endpoint, and it's fully constrained. So now if that 3 inches becomes 4 inches, this circle will go ahead and automatically edit. And then we're going to put our hole in using the same center point or midpoint. And this is 1.5, it looks like. And notice again, it's fully constrained because it's off that midpoint. Go ahead and finish my sketch, and I'm going to choose extrude. Now, the first thing I want to do is I'm not going to cut. I'm actually going to extrude this thickness down. So I'm going to only go one way here. And I'm actually going to choose the 2 button, and I'm going to extrude it to this feature here. So what that's going to do is even if this 1/2 inch changes, this will continually adjust to that height. And that's why I'm not putting in that actual 1/2 inch. I'm going to go ahead and select OK. Now notice we still have a piece of that circle that's only partially cut out. We're going to make our sketch visible. We're going to choose extrude, and this time we're going to choose the 2 circle halves, and we're going to cut, and we want it to go through all. So even since those are the same features on the same plane, you can use the same sketch, but this makes it easier. So when you have to go in and do edits, you're not having to do edits on different extrusions, because again, the sketch is using, excuse me, those 2 features are on that exact same plane. So it makes sense to go ahead and use it on that same sketch. All right, let's go ahead and choose OK. And again, please clean it up. I like the visibility off. Makes it a little bit cleaner for me to see. And this is how you create that hanger jaw.